Hello, greetings. This is Gillesmansillon. I thought I'd come and say hello. Wish you a good day. I'm going to speak about traveling to the planet Venus, something we want to do as much as possible to reconnect to this planet today. But before I thought I'd express a few thoughts, we want to bring it together, the harmonization of the three sacred fire, the three sacred flame that we may not be aware of that, but they're all together in the sacred heart. And there's the blue flame of power, the pink flame of love, and the yellow flame of wisdom. Those are frequency. We can work one at a time until the time they can find the pure balance, and we can sense and feel and see those flames burning within ourselves, for we are a sacred flame that merge into the oneness of the white light. For it is the Father, Mother, Son, Isis, Osiris, and Horus, all those models of balance and harmonization. Everything we need to know will be revealed in the light of truth. The more we move into truth, the more revelation comes to us. And the universe is always in expansion. Our consciousness is always in expansion. There are two ways about going about the expansion. It's through harmony and peace, or chaos. On the higher plane, everybody goes through the expansion, but through process of peace and harmony. But here on the earth, we often need to go through chaos in order to expand. And so we want to find this peace of mind as much as possible, to practice meditation, to find this peace of mind. Peace of mind is a gift you have to give to yourself. It is a freedom. It opens up to freedom, to more freedom. And so it is also very important to daydream, to open yourself to daydream. Daydreaming is essential. It informs the universe of your future. You explore different timelines. You explore different future possible. And do not worry on how those things will be manifest. Just be sure that what you know, once you're sure you know you want something, or you want to experience something, then the universe will find a way to bring it into your life. To use an example, when I was a child, I was mystified by the paintings of Dali, of Matisse, of Picasso in the catalogs, in the books, and I envied the museums to have all those paintings around them. Then eventually I turned into art school, where I studied commercial art, and then I went to America. I studied fine art, and then eventually I was 19 years old. I opened a great gallery in Santa Monica where great artists, wonderful artists, contemporary artists brought me the paintings and sculpture, and I always had wonderful art around me. Then when I reached the age of 25, I started creating my own masterpiece, my own work, and I would never have thought that when I was young, but now I have thousands of paintings that are quite wonderful. And if in my next step, I'm going to return to being an art dealer, and then I'm going to be able to acquire and to show other people's work. And so it's like those dreams do come true in some way, in some form. So whatever we really want is like we are calling for, is really the universe will find a way to bring it to us. I wanted to speak briefly about the idea when we call on to spirit. It is good to invoke the light first when we ask a question to the universe or pray, because if we're in deep chaos and turmoil, we are not sure. We are addressing things in the astral planes, but the reflection may not be the most enlightened, because we're in a lower frequency, so we are attracting lower frequency response. So bring yourself to the light first, breathe, invoke the light, call on the creator, on your guides, and then ask the question to the universe. Then you will get a clear answer. But for that, you need to make your mind still, to make your mind quiet. Otherwise, if the mind is always active, you may ask a question, but the mind keeps going. There is no space for spirit to respond. So it's about learning to quiet the mind. It's very important to work with that, do meditation. And I'm going to pull a few cards. Let's look at the chakra alignment today. This card that's still lingering here. It's the card of trials. At the root is clairvoyance. At the navel is forgiveness. So there's forgiveness for ourselves and others on the earth plane, the astral plane. What we in our solar plexus is potentiality. In our heart chakra is family. In our communication, the same cards, and solution, we have in the French reading, solution, we're communicating, we're talking about the solution. What we see before us is the trial, the difficulties of life. And so understanding that those things make us they show us our weaknesses in order to gain the strength, and then we learn. It's a learning process. It's the kind of learning, a kind of apprentissage, the kind of learning. And what crowns us is reconciliation. We're going to reconcile ourselves with ourselves and with many aspects of ourselves. What in the earth star chakra is well-being, and on the soul star chakra is love. So there is great potential. We just gotta be easy on ourselves when we are tested, when we feel difficulties out of life, is to breathe and to let go as much as possible, to trust that there is always something new that comes in, that can come in, that replaces the old. I'll speak briefly about Halloween. Halloween is coming. It's something that people, somewhat children, celebrate here in France. But when I moved to America, I was 17 years old. I was very surprised. When my mother, we moved to Santa Fe first, in Mexico. And we met a lot of people, and everybody was dressing up for Halloween. Halloween in America, I don't know if it's still like that. I haven't lived in America for a couple of decades, but at the time in the 80s, it used to be like a costume party on the continent-wise. Everybody was participating. It's like a big costume party, and everybody enjoyed that. For not everybody goes into the darker archetypes, but it is also a time where people can let out their dark side. It's fully acceptable to let out this dark side that they have within themselves. So it's like they all come into like zombies and all kinds of darker archetypes. And so, but essentially, Atlantis is Halloween is symbolic of the fall of Atlantis. It's like the fall of Atlantis. We knew that we were going to go into darkness, and it was like the loss of the consciousness, the loss of the memory, the loss of the connection to the galaxies and the galactics and the inner Earth and the advanced technologies that made life paradisical, and all of this was lost, and so we were going to go into that. So it is a reminder that we moved into this age of darkness. Yet I love costume parties. When I open my salon, I will throw some mask parties, costume parties, all kinds of different festivities. And so I'm going to pull a few cards and speak about Venus, the planet Venus, the beautiful planet Venus. What's the highest wisdom for us today is to create. What we need to understand is a master guides, to connect to the energies of a master guides. What we need to do is empowerment. And the outcome is limitation, is accepting the limitation, yet not creating additional limitations. It's important once we to let go of those limitations, to transcend the karma. And this is the direction. We want to find this freedom, to concentrate on the freedom, not on the obstacles, but on the solution. And in order to overcome an obstacle, we don't need to jump all the way 100 meters above. We just need to go right over it, and then like water, just like it builds up, and then it overcomes the obstacle. I was speaking about this possibility of opening the third eye yesterday in my video, and my message is that, and move into the astral plane. I hope you practice that it works out for you, that you can learn that and find this peace, and then you can project. What the exercise is to, in my book I explain the trip to Venus. It was a very different technique. In doing so, the trip, I've been visiting Venus for a very long time. For a lot of souls come to the Earth with the intention of incarnating on the Earth, but then they see it's very, very difficult, so they end up like incarnating on Venus, inside the planet Venus, and then they stay there because it's too hard on the Earth. So we have many, many friends and family on Venus. There are 20 billion souls that live there in the inner plane of Venus, and so the visualization, the exercise is to put yourself in a meditation or relaxed state, open your third eye and move in with your intention and project yourself to the Mount Shasta. It's a mountain in California. You can visualize a mountain. You don't have to just use your intention. You don't need to know all the cracks of the mountains and the shapes or whatever. You just use your intention, and then when you see the mountain, you face the mountain, you open a door. See, there is a door opening, and you pass through the door, and then there is a stairway. And then you walk down the stairway and poof, you're there in Venus. There is this magical stairway in this mountain of Shasta that leads you directly, it's a portal that leads you directly into the inner plane of Venus. And Mount Shasta is also the place where there is the greatest storage of violet fire, violet light on the planet. It is one of the sacred chakras of the earth. And so you walk down that path, and then you emerge on Venus, and there you see what happens there. You allow yourself to be guided, you allow yourself to play, to enjoy, to discover this world. For we want to salute the goddess of Venus, Sanat Kumaras, and all the Venusians that assist us behind the veil. Soon they will be able to make this reconnection, for Venus is a sister planet of the Earth, and she will be assisting